And so I'm Shareef Abdur Rasheed, uh, 81 years old. Took my Shahada 55 years ago plus on July the 22nd, 1969. I was in the military. I was a paratrooper with the 82nd Airborne Division during the Vietnam War. And so I made some mistakes and they locked me up. I ain't gonna get into the details. It wasn't nothing like murder or nothing like that. But it was enough to get me locked up. And it was qadr. Whether I didn't know that, that was my shahada waiting for me. I didn't know that. So I had been there, let me see. I spent about a year there altogether, almost a year. And they were trying to court-martial me and send me to Leavenworth Leavenworth Penitentiary in Kansas. So it was the day I was supposed to have my court-martial. Now, I don't know, for you people don't know what a court-martial is. Court-martial, that's your case being tried in court in the military, which is called the court-martial. And they have, the court-martial is comprised of like half a dozen officers, captains and majors and lieutenants and stuff like that. They're the ones that decide on the verdict at the end of, that's a court-martial. And I was being charged, and I'm not going to get into detail what the charge is or not in the case. I'm not getting into that. That's personal. So I get up early in the morning. When you had a court-martial, you're up before everybody else gets up. And we wasn't in cells. We had a barracks, barracks which was surrounded by a concertina wire, by wire, and they had a fence around there, and there was a turnkey, to let people in and out, that kind of stuff. It was a cell block 83. That was the cell block. Cell block 83. So I had to get up. You had to put the towel on the end of your bed when you're going to court in the morning, and the COs in the stockade, the COs, the correction officers, were military police. The MPs was the COs, So you're supposed to tie a towel on the end of your bed so he can wake you up about 3 in the morning so you can shower, put on your uniform, go eat, and then you get transportation to the court. So I went through that morning. It was my court-martial. But I jumped ahead. So let me hold that there, hold that thought. We'll stop that there. I got to go backwards. Okay, I went too far. Something happened before that that's important, so I have to tell you, leading up to that. Okay. So I was working at nights in the kitchen, which is called the mess hall. The mess hall. Big cafeteria. So I was making breakfast. I was a breakfast cook. So I'd be up all night when everybody else was sleeping in the joint. Everybody's sleeping. I'm up cooking. So I slept in the daytime. So I was running short on smokes, on cigarettes. I was smoking serious Pall Malls in the red pack. No filters. No filters, man. So they wouldn't let you have filters in there. They used to say that you can take a filter and wet it and jam a lock and it look like it's locked, but it's not locked. So they wouldn't let you have. I never tried it. I didn't know how to do it. That's what they claim. You couldn't have filters. If your family send you a carton of cigarettes, they cut the filters off. So rather than smoke like a Salem that was menthol without a filter, that's nasty, I started smoking Pall Mall that didn't have no filters anyway, and I got hooked on Pall Mall. And them was some serious cigarettes, man, in a red pack. Samsudeen knows what happened. A lot of us used to smoke in them days. When I came into Dean, that cats was outside in front of State Street smoking all the time, man. I remember, I just thought about that. So, so I was in the kitchen. I asked the cat in charge, I said, can I go get me some smokes? Because they had a reception center where new cats that just got new inmates came in and were processed in the reception area. They were being processed. Usually there's always somebody in the bullpen, they call it the bullpen, where they have you waiting to be processed, you know. So he said, okay, so I'll leave the mess hall to go to the reception area and see, and you know, I got to go to different gates, and those are the MPs, they got the gates, but they knew me from the kitchen. They used to come in there, get sandwiches and stuff like that. So I told them, I'm going to get some cigarettes. So they said, all right, okay. So I went to the reception, and there was nobody in the bullpen. It was a slow night. They had nobody in there. And they were playing Whiz and Tonk or whatever, like Big Whiz. Right? They were playing cards, right? Cats that worked in there, they were inmates, but they worked in there. That was their gig. Like I worked in the kitchen, they worked in the reception center, right? Overnight. They were playing cards for smokes. It wasn't money, they ain't had no money, it was smokes, right? So that's why I went there for smokes. I know there were smokes in there because they playing cards for smokes, I know that. So I went up in there, and they playing Tonk or Whiz or whatever. I said, man, you got some smokes? And they gave me a few, you know, gave me a few smokes. And I go to go back to the mess hall to go get back to work. I spot this book on the table. There's a book on the table, like a counter, a wood counter. So I walk over, just was curious, it just caught my eye. And them cats is playing cards, they ain't paying me no mind or nothing. Of course, they're concentrating on the card game. I walk over to look at the book. It was a copy of the Quran by Muhammad Ali. And it was in English and Arabic. And he was Qadiani, you know, I believe it was, what's the other one like Qadiani? Ahmadiyya. I always get them confused, kind of this similar, right? Yeah. So, you know, they believed there was a prophet after Muhammad. They believed that whoever this cat named Ahmed, whatever he was, some Indian dude, I guess, right? That he was a prophet after them, which was, you know, that take you out the deen if you believe that, you know, because he was Allah say he's the Khatam al-Nabayin. It's in Quran. It's in the Khatam, the seal of the prophethood, man. So, anyway, not to get off on that. So I'm flipping the pages. That's English, Arabic, Muhammad. So I said, who this belong to, man? I'm talking to the cats playing cards. They ain't paying me no mind. And they're like, it's yours, man. Take it. You know, like this. You know, like, take it. It's yours, man. I said, cool. All right, that's that. I got it. So instead of going back to the mess hall, I went to my cell block to put it away in my foot locker at the end of my bed. So I go in the cell block, I put it away, I wrap it up in a towel. I don't know why I wrapped that up in a towel. Couldn't even tell you. Wrapped it up in a towel, put it in the foot locker, go back to the mess hall. Right. Well, I started reading it. It was hard to read because it was heavy. So I liked it, but I couldn't read it like I read a novel or something. I said, this is something different. This ain't no novel, man. I said, but I liked it, you know. I know it was deep. So I took my time reading it. So one day they had a contraband search in the cell block. They come busting in there looking for drugs or contraband, something you're not supposed to have in there. And every jail have them, unannounced, of course. They ain't gonna announce it, because then you prepare for them to come. So the first thing that hit my mind was, they're gonna take my Quran. Now isn't that something that's on my mind? I said, they're gonna take this Quran. I said, I just know they're gonna take this Quran. I said, I can't let them do that. So I took it and hid it. I didn't know where to hide it. While they're searching around elsewhere and their attention wasn't on me, they was looking at somebody else's area. I moved over to the garbage can and put it in the garbage, and I wrapped it up in something in the garbage so I wouldn't get nothing on it, right? They went in that garbage and found it. That's how thorough the contraband search was, right? And as soon as he picked it up, I almost snatched it out the dude's hand. He was the military police, right? I said, that's mine. And I didn't know. They were like, what's it doing in the garbage? No. They didn't even ask me. They just let me have it. They let me have it, they said a word to me. And I was like relieved. I said, oh, wow. I didn't have to go through all this. So I put it back in my foot locker. Okay, now we go forward. A week later was my court martial. Like a week, maybe a week and a half, something like that. Very soon afterwards, I was slated for my trial. So I get up in the middle, I shower, put on you had to wear a uniform, you know. Because in the stockade, you didn't wear a dress uniform. You wore, you know, the utility clothes that they had. What they call them things, that you could buy in the Army, Navy store, you know. Fatigues. I had the fatigues, you know, you wear fatigues in there, you know. So I put on my uniform, shower, you know, and I get ready. So I go downstairs to go to the mess hall to get breakfast, because you eat before you go to court, right? So I went downstairs, and there was a cell block downstairs. I was living upstairs. And there was a water fountain in there, and the only light was from the bathroom, they call it a latrine, right, from the bathroom, shining into the hallway and into the beginning of that cell block downstairs, you know, so there was some light. But the water fountain's right there. I know there was a water fountain. So I said, I'm gonna get some water. So I opened up the door to go in there. Everybody's asleep. The first bunk that was there, it was up and, you know, the up and down, what do you call them, bunk beds, right? They had the bunk beds. Nobody was in either bottom or top, this first one. So I turned to my right where the fountain is, and somebody's in front of the fountain in the dark, except for that indirect light coming from the bathroom, as I was saying. Some partial light. It was a Muslim making tahajjud, 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:30, 4, something around there. He's making tahajjud with a musalla on the floor. I don't know where he got that. And a kufi. He's dark-skinned black brother, you know, short cat. And I sat down on that bed behind him and watched him. He made taslim. Assalamu alaikum, assalamu alaikum. He turns around and smiles at me and gave me salam.